As the fighting in Ukraine continues, we take a musical journey to Odessa, Ukraine's historic port city on the Black Sea. It's a personal vision of a Ukrainian-born pianist, but also a deeper look at the city's past and present amid war. Jeffrey Brown has the story for our Arts and Culture series, Canvas.
It begins at the historic railroad station, entryway to the city, and you can hear the trains. Vadim Nesolovsky calls his new album Odessa, a musical walk through a legendary city. It was written to honor his father, who was dying of cancer, and his home city.
It's an effort to understand where I'm from, what are my roots, but it was just a starting point. I think it evolved into something bigger than that, because then my literal journey through my hometown becomes an imaginary journey into the history, into collective consciousness, into, the darkest sides of Odessa's history.
Nesolovsky is a jazz pianist and composer who teaches at the Berklee College of Music in Boston, where we met recently. It's also the place he first studied in the U.S. He was born and raised in Odessa in a Jewish family during the Soviet era, and at 15 was the youngest ever student to attend the prestigious Odessa Conservatory of Music. Here he evokes his walks to school as snow fell. In Ukraine today, the sounds are very different. Nesolovsky composed his piece before the Russian invasion began on February 24th.
This was Odessa, Soviet port on the Black Sea.
But Odessa has known war before, and one turbulent section portrays the horrors of World War II, when Romanian troops under Nazi guidance brutalized the city and its inhabitants, including the murder of thousands of Jews. For Nesolovsky, who regularly performs in Ukraine and maintains close ties to friends and fellow musicians there, his music had a new resonance.
February 24th changed my life, and I think it changed my life forever. It's just really before and after, for obvious reasons. And then I had to ask myself, is this music still relevant? And I realized, yes, it is, because there is enough drama in that story that I created. My drama was based on the Second World War. Yeah. Memories of Odessa, and now we have very often same images that we saw from the Second World War, but now we see them in a color photography and videography.
So when you're playing them now, you're feeling and seeing something different than you did when you first wrote them.
Absolutely. Thank God I'm a jazz musician. I get to improvise. And I cannot play without imagining those things myself. If I don't feel those things, you won't be feeling them.
Nesolovsky is a rare mix of classically trained pianist and brilliant jazz improviser, a musical omnivore for whom different sounds have always flowed together.
It was always one thing. It was this ocean of creativity in sound, and it could come from Keith Jarrett, it could come from Johann Sebastian Bach, it could come from Paul McCartney or Joni Mitchell.
I mean, I hear all of them in your music, right? You want me to hear them?
I want you to hear them, yeah. Yes.
The final section of this ode to Odessa speaks to the flowering that had been taking place in recent years within an independent and democratic Ukraine. Now it too holds new meaning.
And I saw it as a sign of renaissance, as a sign of hope for my city. But of course, after February 24th, after this horrible war has started, I also play this music as a prayer for peace and for my home country, for Ukraine.
From benefit concerts and sales of his new album, Odessa, a musical walk through a legendary city, Vadim Neselovsky has to date raised some $200,000 for humanitarian relief efforts in Ukraine. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Jeffrey Brown at the Berklee College of Music in Boston.